Hello there, fellow humans, and welcome to F1 2021 again, and this is Monaco, and that's the qualifying lap, so that's out of the way. So let's now get straight into the race, and don't forget to like and subscribe, obviously. So, I'm starting P3, got a pretty decent qualifying lap. Obviously, I still suck, but that's not too bad, and I also pretty bad at starting. And now, obviously, in Monaco, you can't overtake, but you can also very easily lose your front wing and just spin out and die. So, he's gone. That leaves me in P3, where I started, so that is not too bad. And obviously, the worst thing about Monaco is that you have to drive it. But overall, that is not that bad, and there's not a DNF right there. There's already 2 people out on lap 1. Now, obviously, what we want to do here is ideally, because this is Monaco, overcut the guys ahead of me, because overtaking them is going to be absolutely impossible. So basically, the point here is drive behind them for as long as possible and then stay out a lap longer, hope they get stuck behind one of the bad cars and then get ahead of them. Or they do that and get themselves a penalty. Or I do that and get myself a penalty, which you'll see later is actually going to happen, because even though the track limits on this thing are literally walls, I still managed to somehow beat them. So, here we go into the first lap, and nothing really happened, which is nice. But there are going to be a lot of guys going into the pits, including that guy. So that concludes the first lap. And now that puts me into the third one, where we have another guy that has decided to want to cuddle with the wall. And we got another guy coming out of the pits that is already getting lapped on lap 4. You already got lapped. So you might have been in the pits twice or just crashed horribly. But yeah, and then I crashed horribly into the wall. I thought that was the leader, so I tried to sort of swerve, and then I drove into the wall, which is obviously not great. So at this point, I'm going to have to pit a bit earlier, which is not going to help very much. And now, obviously, we're going to go ahead of this guy again. He's lapped, and go straight into the pits in lap 7, which is obviously not ideal whatsoever, because now we're going to be stuck behind those 2 guys ahead. And for some reason, it did put me on hard tires, because I didn't notice that in the qualifying, obviously, I used all 3 sets of soft, and those sets of softs were used, so it then somehow defaulted to the hard tires, which is a bit unfortunate, but I guess I'll do it better next time, and which I definitely should do better as well, is not drive over the curbs and get myself a 3-second penalty, because that is going to bite me in the ass later, but more on that. Now, here we are, still in P4. Obviously, the 2 guys ahead of me are essentially a pit behind, because they still have to go into the pit lane. However, I'm going to be stuck behind them for quite a while, and that is the problem of Monaco, that whatever you do, no matter how much faster you are, you're probably not going to get past anyway, which makes this circuit, well, pretty challenging, but also very, very boring. So, yeah, I mean, it's an iconic circuit, but it's also a very horrible circuit for the modern F1 cars, so if they were to race with go-karts, that would be a lot better. Now, I'm going to be stuck behind these 2 guys for a while, and that is the problem of Monaco. If you have to pit earlier, you are going to get stuck behind the slower drivers. Another guy in P1, he's gone. Basically, he's not the fastest, but what he's doing, and what is very important in these online races, is he's driving consistently, and he's driving without any errors, so he doesn't have to pit extra, he doesn't have to change his strategy, he doesn't have to account for anyone blocking him for no reason. So that is something that you obviously want to do. If you get away quickly, then it is very, very easy to win. Now, the problem I have still here is those guys, even though they have no fight with me, they're still going to try to fight me. But one of them does go off. And at this point, I have the DRS. I'm going to activate the ERS as well. And I will try my best to get past, but obviously I'm way too far back on this lap. So we're going to have to try that on the next one. Now, obviously, there is no reason for him to let me by, because obviously he's also running his own race, and slowing down to let me pass is gonna not do very well. But you know, he decides to go wide, and then rather than be like, alright, let you go, I'll drive my own race, he decides to come back and block me. But that's how it goes. So still behind him into the hairpin, and yeah, this is gonna take a while, isn't it? It's gonna be somewhat interesting. Now, I've spun on that corner many times, so I'm going to avoid doing that this time, which is very helpful. But now lap 11. I'm pretty much safe forward, as there is nothing I can do. The guy's a minute ahead. He hasn't pitted yet even. And behind me, I got a guy that's also on the hard tires, but he's been there for a couple of laps already, so his tires are going to be absolutely short. However, there is a guy back there that is going to be very funny at the end of this race, and that is our friend Dark Knight. Now, karma is going to bite him in the ass at the end. However, we'll have to see about that. And now, obviously, I have the DRS. I am close enough, and I'm now going to get past on the inside here. Gonna get myself another track limit warning, but I just had to do that at that point because the guys were getting closer, and that guy was just really just blocking my progress forward. I just had to get through. Could have left me a bit more space there, but in the end, that's what they do. And now I'm past, and that leaves us with lap 15 and another back marker that's gonna get lapped. You know, it's almost interesting in online races. Sometimes you lap the whole field, sometimes you end up lapping no one because they're all DNF. But what is going to happen at all times is that you're going to get wrecked. And now we're going to get into a very interesting lap here, and that's lap 17. So I'll somewhat try to get a faster lap here because obviously the Dark Knight guy is encroaching. He does also have the faster tire. He is on the medium, so he is going to be significantly faster. So I try to push without getting into the wall, and that is already a green first sector, which is very nice. Now the fastest lap at this point is a 1:12, which is somewhat equal to my lap in qualifying. So if I would have softs, I might have had a chance at that. But obviously, having been put on the hards by Jeff, it is gonna not happen. Now I'm gonna miss Jeff though, but he's annoying, but he's Jeff, so rip Jeff, I guess. And now I'm gonna try to drive my best on this horrible track, and yeah, I mean, it's very challenging obviously, but it is very bad. And now I'm already feeling the pain here going into this corner. You'll see that in a moment, but yeah, it is going to be very painful. However, I'm gonna get a faster lap, which is very nice. It's a pretty decent conclusion there in terms of the speed of laps. And now we're at the end, and we're here in this pool section again, and here comes Dark Knight, and obviously he doesn't want to be content with P3 because he just rams me in the ass, puts me into the wall, and goes straight past me, because that's what fair racing drivers do, you know? And he does get P2. However, in the end, he actually placed lower than me in the leaderboard, so suck that one, idiot. And thank you for watching. See you next one. Goodbye.